Okay, welcome back to These Are the Days podcast.
It is the week before Christmas, which means times are tense if you're a mom of 4 kids. If you're a dad, it's just smooth sailing. You only got one gift to buy. Hey. You're just hanging wreaths on 15 feet high, 20 feet high ceilings, and
I'm doing all the home projects. I do my list. Whatever you want, I can do.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, what is stressing you out the most right now?
Is that really the card?
That's the card.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, no duh. For me, it's definitely all the Christmas stuff.
Unpack the no duh for us, please.
Okay, so for me, I mean, obviously we have 4 little kids. Doing the Christmas stuff for 4 little kids in and of itself is busy, but then there's Jer's family, there's my family, there's all the cousins, and then we employ a lot of people. So we means me in this scenario, have to do all the gifting for our team and all of our contractors and employees and stuff every year. And then of course, like the teacher gifts, the neighbor gifts, all those kinds of things. So it's a big project for me every year. I think it's 42 gifts that I have to buy every year. I have a Google spreadsheet that I manage it off of that I've used since 2019, and I literally update it every year. I have to have like an immense system for it or I will die. And I've actually like never talked about this strategy before, but I saw some other girl on social media sharing her like how she manages gift giving strategy. And I was like, that's actually, she's way more organized than me for context. And I'm like, that's pretty similar to what I do. It made me feel like kind of good about what I do.
What is it? So
I literally have a Google spreadsheet that's like everybody that I need to buy gifts for is names. And then, so on one side, I have like all personal people. So like our family and friends, not too many friends, but mostly our family, neighbors. And then on the other side, I have all of the people that work for us or work with us in some capacity. And then like teacher gifts, and like a couple other random people, you know, babysitters and stuff like that.
Peripheral work. Yeah. Life management stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Or people.
So I have those all listed out. Then on the bottom of my list every year, I like sometime in early November just start jotting down ideas. Like I have an idea section where it's like just group gifts. Like what is a gift that I can get for all the parents this year? Or what's my teacher gift going to be this year?
Our syrup.
A lot of those things I've already automated. So for the past 5 years, Jeremy and I have been buying this maple syrup that's pure 100% organic maple syrup from the Amish farmers in Wisconsin.
How cool is it when that's going to be our honey from here?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we buy it in bulk. We buy how many gallons? You always pick it up, so that's why I ask you because I forget what I order.
Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
we order
7,
it through like
8,
Azure
10
Foods
10
through
gallons.
Co-op.
About 10 gallons.
10 gallons of maple syrup. So we ourselves go through probably
5 or 6.
I was gonna say 8 maybe, but maybe in how much we give away. So the maple syrup, I like put it into jars and put labels on it, and that's something that I give to everybody on our team every year. Everybody like knows it and loves it and knows to expect it now. So that's like my staple gift. And then we also get this Kringle from this little German baker. That's Dutch, local to us.
Yeah.
Or Dutch.
Yeah.
German, Dutch. Yeah.
Can't remember where she's from.
And so I gift that usually as my teacher gifts, like the syrup and consumables. I try to gift consumables to people like that just because it's like, I don't have to think of it. People can eat it. It's done. It's not more junk.
A nice free treat. And
Totally. Anyways. Okay. Sorry. This is getting long, but then I write in just my gift ideas next to each person's name. And once I've purchased the gift, then I will highlight the person's name green, the name and what I got them. I'll highlight it green. If it's somebody that I'm buying multiple gifts for, like our kids, we usually buy them more than one gift. I will strike through each thing once I purchase it, and then I'll highlight their whole name and all of the gifts green once I'm done.
Brilliant.
And then things that I have to ship to people, because a lot of our people that work for us live all across the country. So I have to like create a deadline for myself of if I'm ordering them something online that has to come to me, that then I have to wrap and put a note in and et cetera, and then ship it in time for it to get to them in time for Christmas. I have like a timeline sheet kind of on the side for that.
Which, by the way, we need to update our shipping strategy because,
you mean for Christmas gifts?
No, for anything, for everything.
Oh.
And
yeah. I've been wanting to figure out a hack
insane.
for this
Well,
for so long.
I went on the UPS.
Loathe shipping.
I know, same. Going out any errands anywhere these days.
Just
it's
shipping is like.
I went out today. Even I was driving around trying to ship stuff and get errands. But like yesterday, I looked in the line and I was like, I know. I looked inside and I saw there was a big line. I was like, this is ridiculous because I had Bodhi with me. And so I just got on the app, bought my label, put in the addresses within about 3 minutes, but I needed to print it and I could have printed it in there, but I'm like, I'll just go home and print it and just drop it off next time I'm out. It expedited the process without having to park and get out and go in and wait. I mean, it was like insane.
We need one of those like sticker label
I was
printers.
Like, why aren't we doing this for everything? Yeah. Even if it costs a couple bucks more, your time is worth more. Thinking about it is worth more than the extra cost. And then 2, to level it up, you can actually become a pickup spot. So not for other people, but like they can come and pick up your packages.
Can you figure that out for me?
And we might be
please?
Slow and behind the curve here, and there might be people doing this. For people that ship as much stuff as we ship, not our books and journals and stuff, we have that better structured. And
we have a warehouse for that. We don't personally package.
That's not in our garage anymore. But anyways, I was like, this is insane. Why are we spending an hour of our day going out and physically, what is this? Like taking the horse and buggy to the store. You know what I mean? It's like, no, we should.
If you can figure that out for me, babe, that would be, that's something you can do for me in the scheme of the Christmas gift giving situation. But
that's what I'm saying. So that type of stuff.
Just do that. Can you do it? It'd be great.
Okay, go.
Anyways, so I reference what I gave people every year too. So it's a great way for me to see like how much I spent on each person, or if I already gave someone something that I love. Like a lot of times I'm kind of cycling through like things that I like, and I give it to new people every year.
How do you reset? Do you reset it every year?
Oh yeah. So I literally copy and paste like 2022 or what's the year? 2023. Copy and paste 2023 into 2024 this year. And then I delete all of the gifts and make it all reset. So there's no highlighting on it. So it's just names and columns of the stuff.
It's really good. It's great.
And then
it's a great system.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else to the system that sometimes I make little notes about.
I mean, that'd be hard to improve on. Yeah,
well, like bonuses and stuff and things that we give to our team, but that's like a separate. But yeah, anyways, it's a lot. It's a lot for me. It is it takes so much time.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
And I think also like I am a gift person, so I do care about the gifts. Like I don't just go send Harry and David boxes.
Hey.
I like to make it personal. I like to give people something that makes them feel like seen and noticed and loved and cared for. And
you like to
that's
go
kind of like
beyond the thought.
Yeah, it was engraved in my family growing up. But I am so proud of myself because this year I finally convinced my family to do the name draw.
Yeah. Which was
a
large
family,
incentive by me.
Oh yeah, totally. Because
I was
tell me how your family is with gifts and birthdays and Christmases.
I learned what gifts were. No, just kidding.
No, that's not true. Your mom spoiled
my mom was insane. She was. My dad did all the
stuff.
stuff.
Your mom out of the equation, but everybody else.
My dad did all the stuff on the farm, and then my mom was. We were spoiled.
Oh, sounds familiar.
We were spoiled rotten. But as far as like birthdays into adulthood and stuff like that, we don't.
Like Jeremy's siblings don't. There's the families where it's like the siblings that just like they don't call each other on their birthdays or get each other birthday gifts. They haven't done that for decades or so. No. And then there's the families that like their 30-year-old siblings still are expected to buy birthday gifts for each other every year.
Yeah, but then if you don't, there's like this like weird tension and animosity and beef, and it's like. Whoa.
My family is the family that like everyone opens their gift one at a time while everybody else is watching.
Ooh, here's a good one.
Anyways, but hold on. No, I finally convinced my family to not do that this year. So one gift for my family, which is huge. Huge. That's 6 less gifts for me to buy this year.
Yeah, I know. It's
like
big.
That's significant.
Yeah, it is a burden on.
And we do the cousin Christmas draw
people
too.
everywhere, moms and dads. But
I feel you
it's
out
good.
There.
It's good, and I think amortizing it out over more months would be helpful. Like it doesn't have to be a last minute thing, like it often turns into for us. But
it's not. I start so early.
Awesome.
I start my Facebook Marketplace searches for Christmas gifts for the kids in like late October.
Yeah, so you have a good system, babe. It sounds like it's a lot, but you've developed a great system.
Okay, you're ready for Connect. You're ready.
Well, no, it's just we
for it.
Covered that.
You got a good question. Wait. Oh, that was the stress question. What's your biggest stress? You didn't answer.
Your stress.
No, that's a cop-out answer.
That's so good.
You mean me? I'm your biggest stress? That's a nice way
No,
of
my
saying
stress
me.
is your stress. It's the classic, like, dad will be dad will be doing whatever, and there'll be kind of some stuff, and then the second mom's stress. Hey, what's going on? Oh no.
Is that really your answer?
That's my answer.
You're not stressed about our house?
Yeah, I have these various.
I thought for sure you say
these
that.
buggards, these issues that that bug me. Yeah, of course, all that. But like, your
trees.
Home. Yeah, I mean, home management is a burden on me right now for sure. Like,
tell them what we're doing with our tree.
Oh, we're moving our apple tree.
Tell them what our tree is.
When we got married, one of Audrey's, was she your maid of honor? Your sister was.
Oh, my sister was. But she my
yeah,
best friend.
Ellen was like maid of honor too. And anyway, so we had a friend give us an apple tree. We planted it on the farm. I chose a great spot on the family farm to plant it, and it's been growing now for 10 years. But it gets neglected there now, and nobody prunes it, and nobody's enjoying the apple pies and the apples and walking past it in the summer. And so we're moving it here. And the other day we did a lap around. We'll put a photo up of where we think we're going to put it. But because I'm building out this place, like this place was raw land, and now we have levels, and I've brought in, I won't say how much, but a lot of rock and dirt, and we're planting trees. I got 6 massive oak trees coming, like 15. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I posted a photo, and people were like, I had no idea you can even buy trees that big. Anyway, it's found a pretty good deal, so we're doing the thing.
And our apple tree,
and the apple tree is coming here.
10 years old, and so it's like a big apple tree.
I hope it survives.
That we're uprooting.
Yeah, I hope it survives. It has some issues. Like the trunk is splitting because it grew so fast, and I didn't prune it right, so it had too much weight amidst the growth, and it kind of untwisted itself, if that makes sense. But anyways, that's happening.
We're doing another one?
Yeah. What do you hope people's first impression of you is? Felt like that was a good one.
Do you have an answer then, since you've been thinking about it?
I haven't been thinking about it, but here's another question if you don't want to do that one.
Okay. Okay.
Make a we statement about us.
About you and me?
Yeah.
Intentionally wild, peaceful presence.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. We are an intentionally wild family with
if we're not in chaos, we're creating it.
With a paradoxical, peaceful presence. That actually, what did we say on the last podcast?
Well, let's do hard things.
What did I say on the last podcast? That our first impressions of each other. Like, we're always trying, like, I feel like since day one, we've been trying to unwind, and people have been trying to unwind this, like, paradox with us. Like, I was trying to unwind your paradox. You were trying to unwind mine, and now we're just our own paradox. And people, like, our friends are, we're peculiar.
Wait, you make a we statement about us.
What do you mean?
You make one. You didn't make one.
I would say the same thing, probably.
You can't ride off my answers always, babe. Gosh, this is what Jeremy, hold on. This is how Jeremy is. Like, you're not this way until you are. It's really interesting to me because like, you go off on these things forever. But then sometimes, like when we're hanging out with friends and some friend asks you a question, you'll like look to me to answer for you. You look at me and you're like, I don't know.
It depends it depends if I'm mentally there.
If it's about you, that's what it is. If it's about you, you deflect like that to me. If it's about science or Jesus or building or construction or the house or something that is not about you personally, then you can tackle it. But you deflect if it's about you. You've done it in this episode already like 3 times.
No, a we statement about us isn't really deflecting. I think it's more of like, if I don't off of my gut reaction, my reflex, if I can't improve on it, why am I going to take up air in the room? Like, that's a great answer. I'd probably say something similar but different. In fact, it'd be more efficient to just cruise with that and keep going. That's more of my mind.
This is the path of Enneagram 8 married to Enneagram 9, though.
Yeah, like that was.
I'll just cruise with that.
That was a great.
That's good.
Unless I think I can improve on it, in which case there's, we're both my way or the highway, and that's where some of the tension comes in sometimes. But
true.
But when 9s don't necessarily we haven't talked about the Enneagram in a while.
No.
We should re-up on, I can't believe we didn't film video.
150 episodes of our podcast.
150 episodes were not recorded.
No, 100.
Oh yeah, this is 131, I think. 132. Yeah, we didn't record a lot of them on video, but that was so great to have those, like Suzanne Stabile, Ian Cron, those.
Yeah, recorded.
All those authors, Enneagram experts would have been great. Okay.
We have them. We were recording them on. That's a great segue to what we're going to talk about, because we recorded with them video on their podcasts. So we did use didn't we use video a couple times?
Yeah, if we can get a hold.
When we were on our book tour, we did.
We should post them on our YouTube, to be honest.
Some of theirs.
Those are like
those are really cool. The
interesting.
Enneagram ones.
The Enneagram
were awesome.
was. I mean, again, that wave is, I don't want to say over, but it isn't like the talk of the internet now anymore. But I still, I mean,
and now everyone's into that.
I still
What's
think
that new one? What's the new one that everyone's into? I was telling you about it, and I was like, "What is that?" Dang it, that's gonna drive me crazy.
What was I gonna say though? Man, I lost my train of thought. It's still just as helpful and useful. Like it really.
Yeah, totally.
Again, it's
a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool. What we always say. What segue? What were you saying?
Well, we were going to talk about book stuff, and the interviews on the tour. It just reminded me of that. What?
Yeah, let's go there.
Oh, you go there.
Well,
how's that 3 o'clock mango?
Yeah,
you're gonna be jazzed.
Am I really?
Yeah, that one is caffeine.
I know. I love the taste of this one though.
Yeah, non-jitters caffeine, but still.
These are our daily gut health. And what else do we put in it? Colostrum.
I usually put the Armor colostrum in it. That's why mine is so frothy. Did you put that in yours?
No, I didn't. That's why
this is my happy juice that I drink every day. I'm drinking the watermelon right now though, because.
Well, should I say this is my happy juice, or should we just say it's our happy juice?
Yeah, it's our happy juice. Sorry, it's our happy juice.
This
that you drink because of me.
Yeah, well, I love it. I think it's great.
It's great.
So this one's caffeinated, so it'll pick me up. The gut, amazing. Home health and holiness, the gut. That's not this podcast though. So books and self-publishing versus traditional publishing. I think we had some questions, like we do cruises through our DMs or whatever, and it's interesting to see themes come up, or you guys ask like, oh wow, this week I had like 12 questions about books or writing, or like people
or
are
self-publishing. So many people are wanting to do that these days.
I'm trying to write a book. What do I do?
Yeah, or a journal or some sort of self-published.
Yeah,
a calendar, a tool, something that they want to release themselves, and like, how do I do it?
So we thought we'd share
pros and cons, kind of
pros and cons. Yeah, how to do it. And I guess I'll start with like the elephant in the room. The industry, and we're going to take a niche little discussion out of a much bigger discussion, which we're going to do in the future sometime soon, which is, which you guys didn't let us know. If people aren't interested, I didn't see a single comment on our last video about it, but what we do for work, how to make money on the internet, how the world's kind of changed, and the tool that the internet has allowed people to use to make money. It just is a big conversation, and there's a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of people are still confused on how it works, and we're like, that'd be an interesting conversation. So let us know in the comments, because if it's not interesting, we just won't talk about it. But as far as self-publishing goes, the elephant in the room is a publishing company. Every single company, one of the biggest expenses that they have is getting product to market, otherwise known as buying awareness. So rather than product to market, getting product known in the market, buying awareness, marketing costs. So if you do have an audience, or you have people engaged with what you're talking about and the things you're interested in, or the things they're interested in, that's a big bonus if you're going to go shop traditional book deals, because they in their mind, they go, oh wow, we don't have to buy all the attention. The attention is going to come with this idea that this author.
And a traditional book deal is.
Yeah, and a traditional book deal would be like going to a publishing house and pitching your idea, and hopefully they buy it and they go, hey, that's a great idea. we'll buy that idea for X amount of dollars. And then you do the book tour, and they do a podcast tour with you now. And, you know, you're a part of kind of a bigger structured system that's been around for eons. So that's like a traditional published route, and it has its definite benefits. Super, super beneficial. Great way to like make a splash in the market and aim for some lists and
get more mainstream distribution for your books, because that's one thing.
Yeah, you'll go through all their distribution channels and you'll get contacts, and it's just like a really great way to like splash. But it's extremely difficult to crack that egg or to open that door or to sit at that table and get in that room. It's just a really difficult. It's a difficult target to hit. You have to be a phenomenon. You have to either go viral and have a good idea, right? Or a lot of people go viral, become famous or whatever, and have bad ideas and try to sell those. Or you have to bootstrap your idea and, you know, get the attention of them or get connected to someone. And it's like a really, really hard thing to do. But what I'm trying to say is the internet has actually made it really easy for anyone to publish.
Yep.
We have a friend. Bookward. Is Aaron still doing Bookward?
Well, Seth's brother.
He's not. Yeah, Seth's brother. Selfpublishing.com. Is that it?
I don't know. I forget.
No. I gotta text one of them and see if there's like a
There's
discount.
so many though courses and stuff out there to teach you how to self-publish, but
So,
I think the biggest difference would be.
Well, hold on, let me finish So self-publishing is obviously exactly what it sounds like. When you publish your own book, get your own ISBN, which is like a social security number for your book, essentially. And you bring your own book to market, you build your own website, you talk about your own book on your own podcast, and you do it all yourself, basically. And there's still
you buy your own inventory.
And you buy your own inventory.
That's a huge difference between trade
or you could do an
self-publishing.
Amazon print-on-demand type thing, but those are always just like, it's like the lowest, worst quality you can possibly imagine, which is fine. It's just a way of doing it. What I'm trying to say is the internet has allowed for the self-publishing process to be so easy, so seamless. All of the tools available, and now with like AI, there's a lot of like automation and ability to like create websites and all of these things super efficiently and easily. But so long story short, we did the trad publishing route. It was great, awesome, obviously a big splash. We really enjoyed the process. I think we have a lot more books in us, not in this season of life, but in us that we want to go that route. But if you have a book and you want to write something, again, with anything, start with the product. Bad product is a bad idea, and a bad idea is a bad product. So start with the product, and if you have a good product, it'll kind of find its path. Same with the idea. If you have a good idea, it'll kind of find its path as long as there's energy and attention that you are putting behind it and in it. So the path's there. All the tools are available. Those are the two routes, and I kind of thought I would just give a little definitive. Let's make sure we're talking about the same things.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. And I think it's interesting to know, just from a financial perspective, like the differences between traditional publishing books and self-publishing books. Because with self-publishing, which is, I feel like, what a lot of people are trying to get into now, like, and I feel like a lot of people should get into. Jeremy and I talk about this a lot. Like we were.
It doesn't have to be some big, huge success. Like, just get your idea out there. Like, just write it.
We were, though, we came from TV. So we were public figures in a sense, like, different than like an influencer, right? That bootstrapped up an influence and people are following them for what they were sharing online, right?
Yeah.
We're different. We came from TV and people were following us from TV. And then we started sharing about stuff online that was not what we shared about on TV. So we had to we had this weird what we called it, like the sifting of our audience.
Yeah, we netted our audience.
Hey, this is what we're going to talk about. And we keep having to talk about it because like this is what we're going to be about here, because we amassed this audience without having had talked about the things that the audience, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and by the way, when we say that word, it might sound disconnected, but like that's you.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
yep.
You're paying attention. You're listening to what we have to say, because you're interested in the same content that we're interested in. And
checking on the baby.
Yeah, checking on the baby.
Yeah,
and so like, or you might have found us way back from TV and you've been with us on the whole journey, or you might have found us the way a traditional influencer might get their start on doing things, and that is by just talking about what they love or care about. So
anyways, back to the like having your own products, like, and we've said this a lot, like we feel like more people should have it. A lot of people in the influencing creator space do not have their own products. They sell other people's products.
Yeah.
And we've just come to realize, like, I think it's a big miss for a lot of people. I think a lot of people are missing out on the opportunity to be like, it is for the ease that it is nowadays to be able to make your own product. It's a ton of work.
Yeah.
But so is creating and influencing. It's a ton of work,
Totally.
but you don't own your own product. So you don't get that control, and you don't get that ownership. And there's a lot of cool perks that come with it. But obviously there's like the, investing in inventory piece if you're going to do that, which is like a big difference between trade books and traditionally published books. Like with traditionally published books, you're getting paid typically up front, and they're buying the inventory and paying to create the book for you, right? Like design it and all of that. Whereas with the self-published book, you're not getting paid up front. You're actually spending money up front to buy the inventory, and then you're doing all of that work yourself. And if you want to try to get it into a traditional distribution model, like if you want to get your book, we published the Marriage Journal in 2015, a couple years before we came out with, it was originally 15. Navigators Council, if you've been around that long. I think we have
there's one up there.
A nostalgic
copy.
I
shan't dare look at it.
Just the design and everything. But Navigators Council was the original Marriage Journal, if you've been around that long. And then we self-published, or after that self-published book, we did our first traditionally published book a couple years later. So we had this self-published book that gave us some data to be able to give to our publisher on something that we sold too. And that really helped. So if you are interested in writing your own book, I think it does help to have your own self-published something first, because all of that is public, right? On Amazon, can't you see all of your sales? Or
if you publish
ISBN. Can't people look up ISBN numbers and see like what?
Oh yeah, in theory,
and see like all of it.
It's more nuanced than that, but that's the point of an ISBN.
Yeah. Anyways, it just I lost my train of thought. Why was I talking about that?
Well, on the flip side of that, though, if you do something and it doesn't do well, they look at that.
True.
Too. And so,
very true.
It's a temperature gauge, but, it's a kind of, I don't want to say crapshoot, but it's hard to say which one's better for if you're going for traditionally published route, which, by the way, nobody, again, it is it's
a barge.
It's winning a lottery ticket if you just if you go and get a traditionally published book. You have to be in the game.
Yeah,
I want to
it's
call
extremely
it.
hard.
You have to be in the game, doing things, talking on the internet, and in the text threads or conversations or community, and be connected with an agent because there was a friend to recommend it. Blah blah blah. It's a game. Every single industry has its game. So does this one. You don't just walk into a new industry and go, I think I deserve to be,
And they're not going to pay you that much if you don't have
pay you hardly nothing.
Unless you have a big following and they're buying like an extension of you, right? Versus just like the book that you write, then it's going to be tricky for, anyone in that position. But
so those are kind of the two. Yeah. Those are the two routes. We've done them both. We have we know them both pretty well. We're big fans of self-publishing. I just think it's amazing when people get their passion and put it out in the world.
And I think for us, and people that are in the creator space, self-publishing is so appealing because it's fast. Whereas traditional publishing is so slow.
Yeah,
we often talk about this, with traditional publishing, it's like a barge, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing for the big companies in the world, the Nikes and the Adidas and whatever, they're barges. They have to move really slow in order to change anything and adapt to the changing times. They have to go through so many processes and loops to get there. Whereas for us, we could tomorrow design a new journal, get it up, and you can do it. You can operate so quickly and you get used to that. So then when you go back to,
we have our own issue though. We haven't done that. People laugh at us because of how few products we've gotten to market in over 10 years.
Just the person that helps us with publishing our products.
And others and other friends that I've chatted with are like, you guys are funny. We
go at our own pace.
Yeah, we go at our own pace. But also we only bring things to market that we've used, we love,
There's
and I think that's part of our problem. You know what I mean?
It
Because
is part of our problem.
not every good thing we don't have to do the good thing before sharing it or allowing people to participate in it. Like what's good for us might be different for others. We could be an avenue or conduit in helping people connect, communicate, and grow in love. Doesn't mean we have to do the thing. And in our past, we've had, admittedly, I think, to our fault or to our benefit, I don't know. We've had a high bar of integrity.
Yes, I was just gonna say. And we
can't stand
so
it
involved.
when people like they peddle all these things, and you just know, like, you know, you're just selling something.
Yeah, like we truly do and use and made and designed and wrote all of these books and journals.
Yeah,
like
we don't have ghostwriters.
We don't, and that's part of the reason we're slow.
We wrote all these.
Like,
you know,
we're slow. We don't. We don't outsource things. You know, we wrote every single word in our books ourselves. We didn't outsource those things. We designed these journals. Like, we are in micromanaging involved. And I think partly it's because we've talked about this before. Like, I feel like it's an integrity thing for us. Like, we can't have ownership over that unless we truly did it, it was really part of the story, unless we really were in it fully. But like, that doesn't really always make sense from a business perspective. And that's why we're slower, but it's okay.
But yeah. That being said, this kind of does bridge into like the bigger internet monetization conversation, how to make money online. There's one thing I want, you know,
totally.
It's such a weird love-hate relationship because the only valuable thing in the universe is attention.
What?
Is attention.
The only valuable thing in the universe?
Well, what I'm saying is attention is the currency. It goes back to if a tree falls in the forest and nobody was there to see it, did it actually happen?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, attention renders reality. Is there something to see if there is no one to see it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So
I get what you're saying. That was a bold upfront statement, but I get what you're saying. Well,
I got your attention. That's marketing 101.
Is the sun the most important?
So it's like, you know, if there was no so what I'm trying to communicate here, what I'm trying to point to is man, sorry
baby, I'm just checking the baby. You're good. I'm checking.
Attention is the currency, and so everyone's trying to fish attention, and people now do that with, you know, all kinds of sorts of ways, whether it's malicious or wholesome. You know, there's tons of ways to get attention, but what you give your attention to, you're ultimately giving your current now to, your which is your life. Mm-hmm. 3 seconds ago didn't exist. 3 seconds from now doesn't exist. Only now exists. And so whatever you're giving your awareness to is very profound and powerful. Even like you guys listening to this, it's not a light thing. You know what I mean? It's a responsibility, but that is the currency. That is the value. And so, you know, like Gary Vee says it best, or he's got, you know, he's the content king, social media king or whatever. And it's like, everyone's in their head about their content. We can be in our head about our content. That's why we don't put out a lot of content, because we're like, if it's not good, we're not going to put it out. But he's like, just get out, share your ideas. Your people will find you. And when they find you, that attention, that energy will grow, and it might become something. But so when you can't sell something to nobody, that's what I kind of mean, especially in the marketplace. Attention is the market. It is the value. And that is why the lion's share of all of the expense of most businesses is attention, getting attention. What is it called? Not CPA, but acquisition cost. You know,
cost per acquisition.
Yeah, Yeah, that's it. It's the cost per acquisition. So anyways, yeah, the internet's a wild place. And so all of these companies now, basically, they used to do what's, you know, trad media, traditional media, to, you know, $250,000 Ford commercial or whatever. We used this example the other day to get this commercial on cable, whatever show someone's watching when nobody's watching it. It's just a commercial. You're going to skip it, or you're going to go to the bathroom or get another glass of water or whatever. Where wouldn't it be a lot better to spend a minute fraction of that on content creators, commonly known as influencers, to create content around it. Like, so all the money has shifted from TradFi into new media, not TradFi, Trad Finance. I was talking about Bitcoin earlier with someone, traditional media. So it's just,
when will that change though? When will those companies, when will it not cost as much to run an ad on television because it simply isn't?
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive shift taking place.
But it's still outrageously expensive. So there is something to it.
Well, it's hard to take money away from a system, and people, a company is going to prop itself up until it's forced to break. They don't really bend very well. They break. Right. And so right now there's a lot of holes in the piping of the old system, and all that energy, money, whatever.
Your metaphors.
Yeah, it's finding its new systems, its new flow, and it's being collected by people at the bottom that then repipe it into what I would say a more robust or new network that will, again, rise its tide until it breaks because of the new network. It's where everything's like a big tree and the rings are growing. And so we're going to look at traditional media as just a ring in the tree of e-commerce. And then right now we're in our new ring, and then we're already in the AI phase. Like you guys heard about these AI bots, agents, where it's like, we're now creating AI agents that have a thinking kind of autonomous ability to go through the internet, go through the world, and we're giving them crypto wallets to spend money on behalf of a narrative or a program that we've instilled into them. So they are now out doing their own things in the world.
What things are they doing?
I mean,
that's an AI podcast right there.
Yeah, that's an AI podcast.
Gotta get Dan in.
Gotta get Dan on here with us. But everything's changing is what I'm saying. Everything's changing.
And I think AI is changing a lot of things. And I think, again, AI has made for more speedboats, but there's still these companies, these publishing houses that are barges. And like, if you cannot adapt to speed right now, speed is everything.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
You gotta be. I'm just laughing because
you're in trouble.
It's like there's I even think about being able to, like, in the MLM space, and like we've talked about potentially doing a podcast about this. I feel like the MLM space has changed a ton also, partly because of this and partly just because of that space changing because of its own issues with it. But like, I do feel like the internet right now, it is easier to make money on the internet than it ever has been.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah.
It's easier to make your own product and sell it than it ever has been. Or it's easier to sell someone else's product than it ever has been and make residual money on that product. That's like the MLM model, right? Like you can, and if you don't know what MLM is direct sales company. So that's just a company where you're selling a company's products. You are a brand partner for the company, selling their products, making a commission on the products that you sell. But anyone that buys products from you is then a repeat customer to you. So they're tied to you. That's where the residual income comes from. So just a quick one-on-one on that. Like if I link something on Amazon and you guys go and buy it, and then you guys go buy something on Amazon tomorrow, I don't make money on anything that you buy from Amazon tomorrow. I only make commission off of a link that I share if someone buys that thing. It ends with that, right? Yeah. But in like the MLM space, you are accumulating a customer base underneath you and you can start making money right away. You don't have to wait to do it. Like,
yeah. Let me give an example. An MLM, the acronym stands for multi-level marketing, but a lot of companies are now choosing that business model because it makes way more sense in today's era. Mm-hmm. So back in the Amway and all that stuff, it was a difficult model to trust. I don't think the incentives were to acquire a customer was much, much, much different than it is today to acquire a customer. Mm-hmm. Now, humans haven't changed. We're still the problem every single time, right? Yeah. So like bad practice then will still be bad practice now. Absolutely. But the mechanism in which you acquire and achieve a goal has changed. The tools has changed dramatically. Mm-hmm. So case in point, or for example, like the marriage journal, one of the most transformative, amazing practices for healthy communication that a couple can possibly do It has revolutionized marriages across the globe. It continues to be a staple, not only in homes, but in churches, in marriage counseling offices. People love the marriage journal because it's simple, it works, and it solves and achieves a very simple, basic human need, which is communication, right? There is no
consistency.
And consistency. There is no relationship without communication.
Yeah.
So if we can make our communication really healthy, it goes to show, I mean, a healthy relationship will naturally follow. And when you solve people's problems, that's a sweet spot for products. Mm-hmm. Now, it would be smart, right? If we were to go, this is such an amazing product. It takes a lot of energy for us to be the only ones trying to get this out to people, trying to sell this to people. Like, we genuinely care about relationships. We genuinely care about people. What if we gave
people money?
Anyone that wanted to sell the marriage journal, we gave them, 10% of every sale. And then if they got someone to change their marriage with the marriage journal, then they would get 2% or whatever of that sale. And then, the list goes on and on and on. That would be a great way to incentivize the marriage journal to get out a lot. Now, obviously, there's going to be bad players in the mix and people only out who don't care at all about marriage and relationships, and they just want money to get paid, and they're going to manipulate.
And it won't work.
And it won't work. That company will crash, which is why a lot of those companies crash. If they're built on bad products, always start with the product. And if there's a what is it called? An environment or culture of like money first, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's never going to work. But when you do find those like sweet spot ones where it's product first and things seem to align, and it's a great business model. It's really interesting. But
and another thing about it that is really interesting and why I kind of want to share with you guys is like anybody can do that, right? Maybe you don't have an idea to write a book or self-publish, you're not interested in that, but like if you are a stay-at-home mom and you want to bring in some extra income for your family, this is probably the easiest way for you to do that. Literally, unless you're going to do like an EA job, maybe like there's some other like from home job that you could do part-time, like being an executive assistant for someone, I feel like is another really great option. But but beyond that, like finding a product that you really love that you can share with your friends and family and community in a social selling space, or literally like with your friends and family and community, not on social media if that's not your space, but it's such an easy way to do that. And it's changing. The space is changing. So if you're someone that was a part of one of those companies 5 years ago, it is totally different now. And some companies have not adapted to the changing times, but others have adapted and they are thriving. And the weight, like when Jeremy's explaining, like you make 10%, like if we did this with that marriage journal, let's say we did this with marriage journal, you make 10%. Like other people that sold the marriage journal or shared the marriage journal for us would make 10%. Imagine being able to make 40% on sharing the marriage journal.
Yeah.
That's what it is now. Like it used to be these like small percentages that trickled down and you had to have all this structure and team and you had to do all this communication with everybody. And now it is so simplified. It is some companies have made it so simplified.
It's basically affiliate models now.
And it literally is. And so it's going to,
which is another term we haven't talked about really. But.
And affiliate models, I'll say something about affiliate models. I just feel like we want to share some of this because I want other people to know that they can do this if they're not an influencer. Like I do have friends that do it. Like I think of the people that work for us that are doing this on the side and they're making money. Like,
and of course, attention is king, right? So like it's a benefit to be talking to a lot of people. Right. But you don't have to be. Right. Like there are people with 1/10 of our audience that I know make a lot more than us because just because they're so niche, they're so concentrated on a single, and they work
a lot more than us.
And they work a lot more, but they're so concentrated on a single one or two things.
Totally. But yeah, the affiliate marketing space is also changing because some companies are affiliate marketing only, but they're adopting pieces of the MLM model. And so that's really interesting too, because they see the benefits of that. And so that's like kind of the sweet spot. These affiliate companies that are acting a little bit more like MLMs, but aren't. And then the MLM companies that are acting more like affiliate companies, but still have like the benefits of an MLM. Like that's like, that right there is like such a good marriage for bringing in income for your family in the online space. If you want to do that, like it's crazy the opportunities there. But
and it can be triggering, like even the word MLM. Like I was on a men's trip recently, and I had a awesome, challenging 30-minute discussion with this gentleman who runs a few companies, and we were discussing the MLM business model and this and that. And it was very apparent that he does not like what MLMs do to people, like who people turn into once the greed, the love of money is the root of all evil. Once the greed kind of catches them, and then they realize, oh, wait a second, I don't really my integrity can kind of slip here because, there's money to be made. That's actually what he was advocating against. And once I drew the line of like, no, dude, brother, I'm against that as well. But again, the tool isn't the problem. There's a deeper issue going on that we both detest. People misusing tools is the worst thing. It doesn't necessarily mean we should take the tool completely away, but I will agree, and I will admit to a lot of people, like, it's really easy to fall into a negative incentive here and get the greed bug, and it's happened to many, many, many people, and everyone's been burned, and everyone's watched someone online peddle something where the integrity just hasn't quite lined up, and you can sense it. It comes across on the screen, but like they risk damaging trust. And I think, again, if attention is anything, attention's only worth something when it's paired with trust. So like it's this dance. It's a dance. It's,
Yep, absolutely, babe. I agree. And it's the same thing. Like I was just thinking that example with like it's the same thing with the church and Christians, right? It's the people. It's not the church. It sometimes is. And it sometimes is the company too, but like most of the time it's the misuse, it's the miscommunication, it's the
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So my conversation with this guy ended well, and and all I was trying to do is convey to him the possibility that an MLM structure or an affiliate based structure with MLM incentives would be a great way to get his product out to more people, because his biggest issue was getting people to notice or care. And I'm like, well, do you have a good product? And he goes, I've got the best, X product on the market, in his opinion. And I was like, and it works? And he's like, it absolutely works. And he's getting into all these stores. People are picking it up. It's gaining momentum, but he still doesn't have it's not internet well known yet. And I'm like, well, the only way to get it internet well known is incentivize people who love your product to tell everyone about it.
Yeah.
And there's a great way to do that. It's really easy to set up, which is why most companies are doing it now. Anyways.
Yeah. That's our little
we're kind of rambling now.
Business 101 podcast.
Yeah, it's not even Business 101. Like, what do we know? We're sharing.
No, seriously,
we're sharing from like our.
It's not at all.
We're sharing from our little window of things.
Totally.
But there's the umbrella of the internet's an amazing tool. Anyone and everyone can use it to benefit your family financially. All opportunities under the sun are out there. Just have to find the one you care about, and do you, really. And I think an opportunity that aligns with you will come. And like, if you don't know what to do and it just feels so hard and everything feels like different language, like you're literally just one thought away, one thought change away from it clicking or you finding it or whatever. And or you just might not be looking hard enough, but yeah, it's fun. I mean, we've been doing it forever, and the game it's always changing. It's hard. We've had some hard years. We've had some really great years. But we like doing it. It's a fun, it's a fun game.
And if you're someone listening to this still and you work a 9-to-5 job and are not interested in entrepreneurship or making money online at all, like, just so you know, like, bless you, and there is amazing benefits to that. What we do comes with so much chaos. We've talked about it a couple episodes, like half the episode was us rambling about our lack of the boundaries we have to then set for ourselves. If you listen to the
100%
podcast with Justin Earley about
great caveat.
about habits of the household and how we talked about just like, we don't have those baked in rhythms. We have to create them for ourselves. And so there's a lot of cons that come with that. Like, it's certainly not all, you know, everyone always thinks the grass is greener, and it's not. Like, it's trade-offs. Everything is trade-offs. And so just so you know, if you're listening, we're not saying like, hey, everybody needs to be doing this, because like, we don't think that. Like, we think that whatever it is that you do you, like Jared said, like, and that's maybe is what's best for your family and your certain set of circumstances. But maybe if your set of circumstances are different or more like ours or whatever, then, you know, like, maybe this is an opportunity. So that's the moral of the story. But anyways,
I know, I think that's actually one of the most important points we could make. Like, you don't want to be chase the shiny, what is it? A fish chasing the shiny lure syndrome or whatever it is. Squirrel, you know, it's like, just because something's good over there doesn't mean you should go chase it, or you need to do it at all, or should even be a part of your realm. Like, do what you think you should be doing. But if you are feeling called, then that's our previous conversation that we just had. But I think that's that's probably one of the most important things we could say.
I think we're constantly reminded of that too, just because like none of our friends here locally do what we do. None of them. It's not like we live in Oregon, right? And there's a lot of influencers. If you guys follow other influencers or YouTubers or whatever, they all kind of congregate to these spaces, right? They live in Nashville. They live in Texas.
Franklin,
they live in New York. They live in LA. We live in
Austin,
Oregon. Okay. We live in
suburbs of Portland,
which is not even a big city. Like, Portland is a small, in terms of like big cities. It's not
and
that
we live
big.
in the country suburbs of Portland.
So there's not a lot of people that do what we do that we can connect with on this way. And so sometimes we feel like we have to just vent to you guys and connect with you guys, because
we go to like meetups,
but our friends don't,
and the companies we're a part of have like incentive trips and things like that where we get to go and have
we have friends across the country, of course.
But we're not a part of, like
our daily reminder though is our friend's life, which is probably mostly like your guys's is what I'm trying to say, is like, most of our friends don't operate the way that we do. And so we see the benefits and fruit of their lives and the way that they operate. And we're like, gosh, maybe the grass is greener in some of that. You know, like, we'd be lying if we didn't say like Jeremy's thought about doing some job, you know? Like,
I mean,
we had friends recently who just did that.
The structure, the boundary of that sounds really nice.
Yeah. Sometimes it does. So.
Yeah. But what's the cliche? The grass is green where you water it.
Yep. Totally.
But a lot of people don't even know there's grass somewhere else. And what we're saying is...
there is. And there could be.
If you wanted to make more money on the internet, there's never been an easier time to find a way to do that.
Totally.
We were not...
That's it.
...prepped to have that conversation, really. We could have maybe given some more...
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, it's okay.
Just be a disclaimer. We give so many disclaimers. It's like...
I know.
It's like, these are our people. They know. It's okay.
Well, I'm just saying it could have been more useful had we, but no, maybe that was good. It's just, we're rambling about it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Okay. We hope that you guys have a great Christmas. We're going to be taking off next week and the week after for Christmas and New Year's, but we'll be back in the new year, and we are going to talk about something that has absolutely revolutionized our family. And we're going to kind of recap how it did this year for us. And share that with you guys, because it literally will be one of the most life-changing things that you could implement with your family, especially if you have young kids heading into the new year. So we're excited for that episode. If you have young kids, definitely tune in. We'll be back on January 8th, I believe it is. So hope you guys have a great Christmas break and
Merry
Happy New Year.
Christmas.
Love you guys.